Today is the day. I've prepared as well as I can. We've been ready for a couple weeks. Let's get the 2021 24-hour movie marathon started. This is the big day. This is the big video. Last year's video was insane. This year's video is only going to be even crazier. A lot to watch today. I'm really looking forward to it. These are all going to be first-time watches, and I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this with my good friend Nathan HALE Movies and Jackson KITTRELL. I've been saying that wrong for the longest time, and I'm no longer going to say that wrong. We have a bunch of different categories today. Every single one of these movies are going to be first-time watches for all of us. So the first movie that I will be watching, we're releasing it right now. Let's get into it. The first movie that we are going to be watching for this 24-hour movie marathon is going to be a classic, one that I have never seen before, and I can't believe I've never seen this movie, and that is going to be The Godfather. We're watching Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece, The Godfather. I'm actually planning on watching all three of the Godfather films this year. Not today, just I'm watching the first one today. And this is our 170+ minute film. This is a very long movie. I'm really hoping I can keep my brain moving. I ended up trying to get some sleep for at least a couple of hours. I was tossing and turning, and I did sleep for like an hour and a half. So hopefully that nap will kind of keep me through this a little bit. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to take breaks. I'm going to eat sugar. I'm going to drink caffeinated and sugar drinks to try to keep myself from falling asleep, because this year is going to be the year that I do that. I'm going to stay awake all 24 hours as opposed to last year when I fell asleep during Barry Lyndon. We're not having any of that this year. No Barry Lyndon, no Kubrick films. It's going to be nothing but me watching films that are going to hopefully keep me engaged, hopefully keep me entertained. There's one movie I'm a little worried about, but when we get there, I'll let you guys know what that is. The Godfather, what are your thoughts on it? Let's begin this 24-hour movie marathon 2021. It's here, it's happening. My eye is twitching and wigging out because I have something in it. Let's do it, guys. You guys have been ready for this. Hit that like button down below. Share this video with a friend. Let's see if we can continue to grow this community. And I want to see if you guys are going to be doing a 24-hour movie marathon this year just like me. So I'm like an hour and almost a half into the Godfather. Really liking it so far. It's really weird. I remember being very tired last year, but like right now I am like tired. I feel like it didn't hit me this early last year. Like it's literally 1:18. Like I usually stay up later than this. Like either I'm streaming on Twitch or I'm, you know, watching Clone Wars or doing whatever. But, you know, I'm going to get some sugar in me. So I'm taking a break from the movie. And I think that it's just kind of like that initial phase of like me waking up after sleeping for like an hour. And now I just need like food in me or something to kind of like keep my energy going. So I'm going to do that real quick. I will get back to The Godfather and I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully I start feeling better by the time that we watch the next film. So that's kind of my goal. Okay, so the eating and drinking helped. It gave me energy. I'm actually feeling a lot better now. I did get through The Godfather, so we're done with the first movie of the marathon, which always is great, but also at the same time, I know from last year and from experience that just means that it's going to be even longer. There's going to be so many other movies that I have to get through and watch today. But I'm going to give you my quick rundown of my thoughts on The Godfather. So this movie is really a classic. I didn't really know what to expect from this film. It's a little slower, but I also know that this movie really has like a lot of setup for amazing, I mean, absolutely amazing and chilling moments in this film. Whether it's James Caan's Sonny, who ends up dying, which is an insane scene. Whether it's, you know, Al Pacino's Michael's wife, who he marries in Sicily, getting blown up in a car. Marlon Brando dying? What? Vito Corleone is dead? I thought that he was in more of the films. He was in more of the franchise. But overall, this is a movie that I can understand why it's so beloved, why it's so heralded and regarded as one of the greatest movies of all time, and why it's so high in IMDb top 250. But For me, personally, I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was going to be maybe a little bit more suspenseful than what it was, maybe. I guess that's like the only letdown. And I can't wait to watch the other two films at some point in time this year. 100 Films That I Missed Project. Sorry, it's late or early. But we're going to move on to the second movie. I will introduce you guys to that very, very soon. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to enjoy my 10-minute break here before we start and crack in to the second film of this marathon. And I was talking to Jackson and Nate, and they're both doing pretty well. They're watching the same movie right now, so stay tuned. Let's get to the second movie. Man, do I feel like the breaks go by very fast. So the next movie we're gonna watch is Punch Drunk Love. I actually own the Criterion of this. This is actually the recommendation by Jackson. So we did one 170+ minute film. We have a second one that we're gonna do later on in the marathon. And we're getting Jackson's recommendation out of the way. This is his favorite movie of all time. Directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Adam Sandler, Emily Watson. I don't really know much about this movie other than the fact that Adam Sandler gives an incredible performance. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm happy I own it on Criterion. I could watch the actual Criterion release the way that the movie should be watched. And you guys, if you guys aren't into Criterion, you got to get on the Criterion train, because Criterion is just absolutely incredible. There's no other physical media company in the world that is able to restore films and is able to distribute films in such a way that it shows so much love for that specific project or that specific film. I still want Life is Beautiful on Criterion. That's got to happen.
And the truth shall set you free.
We're going to watch Punch Drunk Love. Wish me luck. Let's get to this movie number 2, baby. Let's go. We still got a long way to go, but we're getting there.
Purchases of any of your Healthy Choice products equals 500 miles, and with the coupon, the same purchases would value 1,000 miles. That's it. Do you realize that the miles...
Movie number 2 down. Just finished Punch Drunk Love, and let me say, what a treat. That was a great recommendation by Jackson. I knew the movie was going to be kind of different and maybe a little complex, but I didn't expect the movie to kind of be as bonkers and as interesting as it was. And I use interesting kind of to replace weird, because I mean, if I say it's weird, then people are gonna be like, oh, you didn't like it. No, I loved it. Adam Sandler is phenomenal in the film. Philip Seymour Hoffman, that is his quote when he says, when he's like screaming on the telephone, it's from that movie. I didn't even know that. That's like such an iconic scene. Emily Watson's really good. I mean, Adam Sandler's character has so many layers to him that I feel like it's one of those movies that I could just watch over and over again and find more things to really love about it and find new details that I might not have noticed before. It was very different than what I kind of expected going in. Paul Thomas Anderson is a phenomenal filmmaker. PTA really just shows how good he is at unfolding these small, simplistic stories and making them have a lot of heart, have a lot of meaning. Really love this movie, and yeah, I was very surprised with how glued in I was to the entirety of this movie. We're going to move on to the next film. Before I do that, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to try to eat some more. I can't even make sense right now with words. And try to have some sugar in me so that way I can get through the next 9 films. We still have a long way to go. Oh my gosh. Okay. So imagine if something creepy happened right now. Just saying. Basically 5 o'clock in the morning. We're moving on to our third film of the marathon. This is a movie that actually Nathan, Hale, and I both have. We both chose it for our Best Picture winner. This is a movie that both of us have not seen. I've been very excited to watch this movie for a while. And that movie is going to be Birdman, starring Michael Keaton, Emma Stone. It's directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. Inarritu? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's also, I'm really tired. Not really tired. I'm doing good, but you know what I mean. This is a movie that I've heard a lot about, and I'm very interested to see how it's going to be. I don't know the director. I love Emma Stone. I love Michael Keaton, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this movie can give me. And this was a 2015 Best Picture winner. I want to watch every Best Picture winner there is out there, and I want to kind of start with some of the more modern Best Picture winners, and this is one that I've missed. So Nathan and I will both be watching this at the exact same time, which is going to start right now.
Good here. I'm gonna go home. Say no.
guys, this is how you get through a marathon. You just gotta stand every once in a while, you know, stretch out, kind of, you know, do some moves, you know. Yeah, that's really what it's all about. That's how you do it.
They were playing at Syracuse. He was in the audience.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Birdman yet, to be honest with you. I mean, the technicality of it is incredible.
Great Carter. Yeah.
And Edward Norton is awesome in this movie so far. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Let's go. All right, so I just finished Birdman. You know, it's an interesting film. I think technically it is astounding what they're able to do. The fact that it's all one shot, I really do like that a lot. Michael Keaton's performance is incredible. Edward Norton in the film is incredible. Emma Stone is phenomenal. Like, every performance is so good. I think the problem with this movie for me, though, is I feel it's a little too metaphorical, and in a way, I almost kind of lost my interest in this film, trying to kind of figure out everything that was going on, like what the meanings behind all of these things are, and basically the psychosis of Michael Keaton's character throughout. It's a good film, and I liked it, but I don't think I loved it. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again, to be completely honest. A one-time watch type of film for me. The next film, which is going to be fun, it's actually going to be a short film, so you guys excited to see what my short film is? Yeah, it's pretty good. It is light outside now. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. And the next movie, like I mentioned, is going to be a short film. And the short film that I have chosen is actually one that's very interesting. I decided to choose Never Hike Alone, a Friday the 13th fan film. This came out in 2017. I actually own it on Blu-ray. I've had it for a while. My wife is still sleeping, so I kind of want to watch this movie in here, just because it's also on YouTube, which is really nice. And then we're gonna move to the living room once she wakes up and everything. But this is something that I've wanted to watch for a while. I'm very intrigued, very interested. I love horror, and I love, you know, the Friday the 13th series, although it's cheesy. And I'm just looking forward to actually having some intensity, because I feel like this is going to be a really good time for me to be able to still continue to feel good. Like, I feel good right now. This is crazy. Last year, Barry Lyndon killed me at this time last year, but this year I'm feeling good. I'm feeling optimistic. I feel like I can go the whole 24 hours. Let's do this. So I'm actually making a bowl of cereal right now, and then we're going to start this Friday the 13th fan film, Never Hike Alone. Also, if you watch any of these movies, let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. That's kind of self-explanatory, but yeah. All right, so it's 8 o'clock. I just finished the short film, Never Hike Alone. It's one that has been on my radar for a long time. I love the Friday the 13th franchise, and I gotta hand it out to them. They did such a really, really good job on this short film. It looks professional. It looks like it could actually be a Friday the 13th film, and I'm in awe. Like, it looks really good. The production value is there. The set pieces are incredible. Jason is menacing in this short film. And there's a few nice surprises that I didn't expect, to be honest with you, that show up in this movie. The only thing I didn't like about it, it felt like it dragged on a lot in the third act. And also it had a lot of false endings, which kind of frustrated me, because as much as I really did enjoy this short film, I feel like it went on about 10 minutes too long. Overall, though, really surprised me. I am so happy that I was able to finally watch this short film. And I love this. I love fans coming together, making these types of short films of properties that they love. And Vincent DeSante, I believe is his name, the guy who directed this, he did such a phenomenal job, and just kudos. I know that they have a second one, Never Hike in the Snow. That's definitely on my radar next. I definitely gotta check that out, and I will definitely check that out. Maybe even in October. I'm feeling good. I think I'm getting more tired, but like last year, Barry Lyndon knocked me out at this time, so we're doing pretty good. Okay, so the next film I will be watching is going to be a foreign language film, and I have chosen, I don't know why I'm mixing up my words right now. I've decided to choose A Separation. This is an This is a film from Israel. I can't talk right now. Clearly, you can hear a little bit of tiredness coming from me. This is one that Nate has been talking to me about for probably over a year now, and so I wanted to watch this one. It's been on my radar for a while. I said earlier in this video, let's flash back. There's one movie I'm a little worried about. Yeah, this is my prediction of the movie that is going to kind of be hard to get through. It's very dialogue heavy. Hopefully I can go on through this. It's 2 hours long, and let's hope for the best. Let's hope that I can just get through this movie, because if I can get through this movie, we're almost halfway there. Little under halfway. We got this. Okay, so I'm like an hour and 20 minutes in. Haven't finished a separation yet. Having a tough time with this one, not gonna lie. I knew that was gonna be the case. I've dozed off a couple of times. Like, I know what's going on. There are a couple parts that I kind of missed, but luckily the movie's dialogue driven, so it really just kind of catapults you into everything that you missed by telling you and explaining what happened. So I'm gonna walk around for a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break here, just a few minutes, walk around, you know, drink some fluids, just kind of try to stay active, try to wake up. This part sucks. This part really does suck. So if you're doing this 24-hour movie marathon, definitely pace yourself. You know, definitely walk around, stay active, try to get the energy going, and hopefully we can get through this. Godspeed. So I just finished the separation. It's 10:30. That was tough. It's a solid movie. It really is. I wish that I would have, you know, not had so many issues with staying awake during it. There was a moment in time where I was watching, like, I watched the majority of it. I would say that I dozed off probably like 15 minutes total. But it's one of those movies that, to me, I feel like I have to give it a second watch, because this is kind of like the setting that maybe isn't the best for it. Very dialogue driven, pretty slow at first, but it really picks up, and the intrigue and the drama behind it is actually interesting, because it's kind of like one of those detective movies, and I love those types of movies. All right, so now I'm chewing gum. I took a pretty extensive break. I just wanted to make sure that I was like staying awake, you know, getting that extra stuff that I needed. Chewing gum in a video is literally the #1 rule of something you shouldn't do, but in this case, I think it's okay. I think this is kind of the exception. Anyway, the next film we're gonna watch is my animated film choice. That's right, we're doing an animated film once again this year. My choice is The Good Dinosaur. Yeah. Haven't seen this one. I want to watch all the Pixar movies leading up to Luca, so my wife and I can do like a ranking video of all 23, 24 Pixar movies, however many there are. Let's do this. I think this might be the worst film of this entire marathon, but let's hope it keeps me awake at least. Okay, so just finished watching The Good Dinosaur. Michaela watched it with me. I mean, I dozed off a little bit, but overall, it was kind of what I thought it was going to be. Not a very great Pixar movie whatsoever. It's like basic and poor. I don't know. What about you, Michaela? What'd you think?
It was not a bad animated movie, but not for the quality of Pixar.
Yeah, that makes sense. What I would say is, like, the animation is kind of distracting because it's so good. Like, all the elements around the characters are so good, but then when you put the obvious animated characters in, it looked unreal to me at that moment. I don't know, there's something about it where it just looked real. Like, the background looked real, but then the actual creatures and caricatures did not look that good.
The background was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous looking movie. Definitely the worst film I've seen so far in this marathon. But we're going to keep it going. We're going to watch the next movie, which is my second and last 170+ minute film, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. It's been a while. I watched The Lord of the Rings last year for the first time. This year I want to watch The Hobbit for the first time. So let's do it. Hopefully I can stay awake. I have a lot of sugar now, so that's really good. And I think Jackson fell asleep also, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure he's out cold. We've been texting him for at least like the past hour and a half, and he hasn't responded. Nate called him and everything too, so I think he's out cold, but that's okay. He'll wake up eventually, right?
King under the mountain, mightiest of the dwarf lords. Sword ruled with utter surety, never doubting.
Okay, so The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey is over. It's done. I dozed off a little bit in the middle. Not too bad though, so I'm definitely gonna go back and revisit this one for sure before I like make any other Hobbit content. But I did understand the entire story and I did watch the main parts of the film. Granted, it's the first one of the three. I haven't seen the other two. Is it nearly as good as Lord of the Rings? No, it doesn't capture the same magic. It almost feels like they use way too much CGI, and it almost feels like they're trying to have that same nostalgic factor or that same, you know, type of gravitas that the Lord of the Rings trilogy had. It's not bad by any means. I think it's a fun action adventure film. When it comes to Middle Earth, not a lot in terms of plot that I'm just like, ooh, this is riveting. But yeah, ultimately it was a fun film. I'm happy I watched it. A lot of great action. I was able to stay awake because of the action, which is nice. So now I'm gonna take a break. I might take a shower just to kind of wake myself up a little bit, and then we're gonna start the next movie, which is gonna be a fun one. Also, I wanna point this out. Look at my wife. She actually went shopping, got me some snacks for the marathon. I think that's too much snacks, but like, I mean, it's fine. We also got a lot of Yoo-hoos because we're obsessed, but yeah, is it a lot? Maybe it is, but I need all the sugar I can get. All right, so as you guys can see, my hair is kind of messy. I just showered. Feeling pretty good, feeling good. It's good to shower if you're doing these 24-hour movie marathons. Just as a point of reference, it's a great way to like wake yourself up. And usually like we try to have like I'm trying to have like 10-minute breaks. I want to have some breaks that I know I need that are a little longer, and I'm not worried about that. Like if I go over 24 hours finishing my last film, it's fine, it's whatever, because I can sleep a lot tomorrow, which is gonna be great. But the next movie that we're gonna be watching is actually from the category My Birth Year, which is 1995. This was one of my favorite categories last year. And this year, I wanna watch GoldenEye. That's right, the James Bond film GoldenEye starring Pierce Brosnan. I've not watched a lot of James Bond movies. With No Time to Die coming out this year, I really wanted to kind of up that a little bit, watch quite a few James Bond movies. I'm not gonna try to watch all of them just because there's a lot. But we're gonna watch GoldenEye, which is heralded as one of the better James Bond films.
James? Raymond.
I love the James Bond openings. They're so fun, just so ridiculous. The opening scene of this movie has one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Like something out of the Fast and Furious franchise, but I loved every second of it. It was fantastic. It was awesome. I'm gonna drink my Yoo-hoo and keep watching. Man, Tina Turner's got a voice. Okay, so I just finished GoldenEye. I did really well up until like the last, I would say like 15 minutes. Started dozing off really bad. I kind of just lost interest in this movie. Like, I like it. It's fun. It's got great action sequences. It's like classic James Bond nostalgia. But I don't know. It just kind of like lost me. I felt like the movie was overtly too long. It should have ended a lot sooner than it did. Sean Bean was great in it as the villain. And you know the movie's going to be good when he dies, because every time he takes on a role and dies, usually it means that it's something special and something great. But yeah, I wish I liked it more. I don't know. I just lost interest in it, to be honest with you, and I was just dozing off. But it's still solid. I still liked it. Definitely not one of my favorite James Bond films, though. It's out of the ones I've seen, it's actually pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of them. But like, I'm comparing this to like Casino Royale and Skyfall, like it doesn't even hold a candle. Okay, I'm standing for this because I know that if I don't, I'll be really drowsy. So the next movie I'm gonna watch is going to be my IMDb top 250 category pick, and that is going to be Rocky. I've never seen Rocky. I wanna start watching the Creed films as well as the first Rocky. I'm not even gonna watch the rest of the franchise really. It's basically just Rocky and then Creed 2, most likely. But I need to watch Rocky. We'll see if I like it enough to actually watch the other Rocky sequels. We only got 3 more movies, guys. 3 more. We can do this. I dozed off, like I said, for the last 15 minutes of GoldenEye, and I'm hoping to stay attentive for these last 3 movies because we're almost at the push. We're almost there. Let's get it. So, Adrian! So I just finished Rocky and I loved it. Oh my gosh, that movie is so good. What a classic. Oh man, I'm so happy that back in the day they got it right and they picked this movie to win Best Picture. It's just riveting. I think even though it has a slower pace at the beginning, I feel like it really plays into its strengths of the film. It's an underdog story and I really love those types of stories, but you know, it ends in a way that I didn't really expect. Even though the movie's been out for so long, I should know already, but the fact that like Rocky doesn't really care about the outcome, him and Apollo Creed, they have mutual respect for one another, and they're like, no, we're not going to ever do this again. Like, this is it. This is a one-time thing. I just really enjoyed it. The performances by Sylvester Stallone, also the girl who plays Adrian, phenomenal in this movie. The direction is great. It's one of those movies that I feel like it's a triumph. It's absolutely everything that you want in a sports movie, and I absolutely loved it. Here we are, guys. The penultimate movie in this 24-hour movie marathon, 2021 edition. Do you guys want to know what it is? I'll be watching Nate's recommendation for me, which is 10 Cloverfield Lane. This has been on my list for a long time. I don't know how it's taken me this long to finally watch it. I know he's excited to watch my reaction to this movie. Him and Jackson have been talking about it, so I'm so excited to be able to finally watch this movie. I feel like saving this one for the end was a very smart choice because it's a thriller. It's going to keep me active. I have this really weird thing where it's like the first like 3 to 4 movies I do extremely well. I'm not tired at all. And then it's like that middle section where I just like feel groggy. I feel terrible. I'm just like, I'm going to pass out. Luckily, we did not have a Barry Lyndon moment this year. I know that happened to Jackson, not once, but twice. Sorry, Jackson, I'm gonna call you out. But it did not happen to me this year. I don't think it's gonna happen with these last 2 movies. I was very strategic in where I placed them. And coming off after Rocky, like, oh, let's go, man. I'm so pumped. Let's get it, guys. We're gonna start 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I'm very, very intrigued by this movie. I'm so excited to watch this movie finally. Okay, I just finished 10 Cloverfield Lane, and oh my gosh, what an incredible movie. Up until the 3rd act. That's my biggest problem with this movie. Even though I loved everything that this movie was doing, the whole kidnap vibe, the isolated story, the self-contained story, the moment that they take that self-contained story and rip it into the Cloverfield verse where, you know, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, Michelle, is fighting off all these Cloverfield aliens, that's when I was like, no, I could have done without that. You could have literally just had the final shot, her getting in the car, driving away, and then you see the aliens and stuff in the sky. That would have been way better instead of having like this big action sequence of her like fighting these aliens. And to me, I was just like, no, you lost the whole element of what made this movie so good, which is that self-contained, isolated story. John Goodman is so creepy in this movie. I do really like this movie a lot. I definitely want to buy it on Blu-ray. I wish that they didn't do that with the 3rd act, because, again, it's all about having that self-contained story and keeping it there. But, guys, we're moving on to the final movie. I'm not even going to introduce it, okay? Well, I'm going to introduce it, but I'm not going to have to make, like, another scene going into it. The last movie, and we're not even really going to take a break either because I just want to get this over with. The last movie of this 24-hour movie marathon is a movie from my watch list, and that movie is Donnie Darko. This is a movie that's been on my watch list for a long time. I absolutely love Jake Gyllenhaal. This is a younger performance of him. I've heard the movie's like creepy and like dark and like gothic in a way. I have no idea what this movie's about. I can't wait to find out and end the marathon because, guys, I am so exhausted. Here's the thing though, 10 Cloverfield Lane, just like last year, like it kept my attention the entire time. I was so invested in the film, and I hope Donnie Darko's the same way. Let's get it. Final film of this marathon. Let's do it. Okay, so I just finished Donnie Darko. It is official. That is a wrap on the 24-hour movie marathon 2021. I want to give you some quick thoughts on Donnie Darko. This is a movie that's very bizarre, very odd. It really deals a lot with like time travel, which I didn't think that was the route that they were going. And Jake Gyllenhaal's performance is amazing as usual. Drew Barrymore's in this. Like, there's such a great cast in this film. A lot of cool surprises as well. Even like Patrick Swayze, that was like a real big shock to me. But I felt like this movie, what worked was the mystery to it. I found myself to consistently be wondering what was actually happening, what's going on, and how the events are going to unfold. But that being said, one of the problems with this movie is all the mystery. There's so many things that are just like unanswered that I'm just like, wait, what? How does this make sense? But overall, it was a good film and I really liked it. It was very weird and different. And it's definitely not as dark as I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be more like creepy, and it's not that at all. It's more, I don't know, it has like a lot of interpretations of like heaven and hell, and it's stuff like that. But overall, it was a good movie to end the marathon on. I mean, it really messed up my brain, and I have so many questions now. But I can't wait to go to bed and just not even think about any of these films as I sleep. But guys, that is it. We did it. 24 hours in the books. Put a bow on it. These are really hard to do. I'm sure we'll do one in 2022. But yeah, you can't do more than one a year. That's just the way I look at it. Like, this was an experience. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. But I'm so happy I was able to do this, guys. Make sure you go show some love over to Nate and Jackson's channels. I don't know if Jackson's 100% going to make his YouTube channel after this, but I'll link his links where you can go find him if you want to go follow him on Instagram or Twitter. Also, consider subscribing to this channel right here. If you came over from Nate's video, or if Jackson does make a YouTube and you came over from one of their channels, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I post a lot of content that is really creative, really fun. I do marathons, not as big as these ones, but every once in a while I'll do marathons where I marathon like, you know, a certain franchise or something like that. And this was a lot of fun. I do want to also announce that the time this video is going to come out, you will see it on Wednesday, which is May 5th. Tomorrow, because I can say tomorrow since that's when we're aiming for when we get this out. Tomorrow, Thursday, May 6th, we are going to be doing a live stream. All three of us will come together. We're going to rank our marathons individually. I got to kind of figure out where I'm going to rank everything. And so look forward to that. A lot more content coming for the 24-hour movie marathon with that ranking video. Guys, thank you so much for being along with the ride. If you watched this entire video, you guys are amazing. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to go to bed. I am exhausted. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be the live stream. All right, peace.